Venturing into the woods alone at night can be terrifying. But what happens when you encounter someone or something you'd rather never meet? Tonight, we're diving into the 6 most disturbing camping encounters ever recorded. These clips will make you think twice about ever stepping into the woods alone again. Let's delve straight into this first disturbing encounter. This first horrifying clip was captured by Richard Grebenik, a man known for his YouTube channel, where he typically sings popular songs himself. However, this particular video tells a terrifying story that still haunts him to this day. Richard shared it in hopes of getting some answers and understanding about the strange creature he encountered. It's the 4th of August, 2017. Richard was staying at his beloved summer holiday home, nestled in the peaceful countryside. Everything was normal, and he was enjoying his time there, unaware that something truly unsettling was about to unfold. One evening, as he was going about his routine, he spotted something in his yard, a disturbing creature, unlike anything he had ever seen before. It fled, vanishing before he could grab his camera to capture it, and Richard was left shaking, unsure of what he had just witnessed. But later that evening, the creature reappeared, and this time, Richard was ready. The moment he locked eyes with it, a chill ran through his spine. Without thinking twice, he grabbed his iPad and positioned it by the window, hoping to capture the creature on film to prove to the world what he was seeing. His heart raced as he set up the camera, desperate to document the unexplainable. Richard quickly called the priest, hoping that some form of intervention would help rid him of this terrifying presence.
There it is. It's the only one that will believe me. Oh my God. I can't believe this. Damn phone.
Hey, Mickey G.
Hey Mike, I need you.
I can hardly hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
A little bit. Yeah.
Alright, you're not gonna believe this. I got it on video now. People think I'm nuts. It's on video, it's playing right now. I put the iPad in the window and now this thing's coming up to the steps in my backyard, Mike.
What's coming up?
It's like a weird demonic looking thing and it's like a human and it's all scratched down. And this is the second time this happened this week. And as I'm talking to you, this is all on recorded, and it doesn't see me. I'm in that, you know, that sunroom. All right, I've been putting the iPad out. It's about around, and it happened. Weird things been happening around this time at night.
Can I record it?
You're on record. Everything's recording now. I can see the thing. It's like looking around weird.
Is it recording the video?
Yeah, right now it's on the video. It doesn't see me. I'm sitting back, but I can still see out the window really good. You should see.
Hear you?
No, it can't. But it's looking around like something out of a weird sci-fi movie. This thing is freaky. It's on video. Huh?
Not a person?
No, it's an evil identity. It's evil entity. This thing's like wicked looking. But it's a human form though. You gotta wait until you see the video. I got it on video.
Okay, good.
This is like one out of a million things that people will not. They'll think they won't think I'm crazy no more. Wait until you see this. Oh my God! It's like you should see this thing, Mike. Oh my God! Like a gargoyle. It's like a gargoyle, man. And it's like 35 feet away, and it came out of those weeds. You know what I'm talking about?
If you look closely at the footage, you can see the strange, pale, human-like figure coming closer and closer to Richard's house. It moves in an unsettling manner, as if it's searching for something or someone, its head swiveling in all directions. Richard's heart pounds in his chest as he watches in horror, terrified for his safety. The creature's eerie, unnatural presence fills him with dread as it edges closer to the window, and the sense of something sinister hanging in the air becomes undeniable. Frozen in fear, Richard watches as the figure slowly backs away into the darkness. For a brief moment, it disappears from sight. But just as he starts to breathe a sigh of relief, the creature reappears from the shadows, emerging from the dark once more. Its unnatural shape seems to materialize from the void, and Richard feels a chill deeper than anything he's ever known. In panic, Richard asks the priest to pray for him. His voice trembles with fear, desperate for some form of protection.
People won't think they're not going to think I'm crazy when they see this now. This is unreal. Just pray.
Just pray?
Yeah.
Yeah, praise you, Jesus. Father God, I just want to lift Rick up to you right now, Lord. I don't know why he's being tormented like this, Lord, but we know you know. And Lord, you've been speaking to him in visions and dreams concerning his work and different things, and the enemy is being attacked by you, Lord. And he's all worked up, but God, I just come against this. I bind these things right now, these evil spirits that are just harassing Rick and just coming into his yard. I just bind those things right now. I come in to cease and be still, be gone. Father, I pray that you give Rick peace right now. I come against all fear. I bind that in Jesus' name. I pray, Father, that you just give peace and comfort, Lord, that he knows that Lord, that you are watching over, Lord. You are his rear guard, that nothing's going to call me. When you lay down at night, no sudden terror will come upon you.
Oh my God, there it is, Mike. It came back. Oh my gosh.
I command you to go in Jesus' name.
This thing is looking weird. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. It knows something's going on, man. This thing is... Oh my gosh. Oh my... Oh my gosh, I don't know what happened. We got disconnected. I even called the minister. It went back.
As the priest starts speaking in tongues, the atmosphere in Richard's yard becomes even more unsettling. The creature, once still and lurking in the shadows, begins to move erratically. Its movements grow jerky and unnatural, almost as if it's being affected by the priest's words. And then, the connection on Richard's phone cuts out. The call abruptly disconnects, leaving only a strange, hollow silence. The video stops here, with no explanation or resolution to what had transpired. The footage left many unanswered questions hanging in the air, sparking a flood of comments online. Some viewers shared their own disturbing experiences, claiming they had seen similar creatures or had encountered inexplicable events. Others, however, were skeptical, calling the video a hoax, suggesting that it had been staged or fabricated for views. But despite the mixed reactions, one thing was clear. This eerie footage left millions of people around the world in a state of confusion and fear, all wondering what the creature was and whether it had any connection to something more sinister. For Richard, the encounter still haunts him, but perhaps it's better that the mystery remains unsolved, leaving us with a chilling unknown that may never be answered. Already feeling uneasy? Hold on tight, because this is only the beginning. Let's head straight into the next chilling camping encounter. Meet Oliver, a true travel and adventure enthusiast who shares his experiences on his YouTube channel, Venture Unbound. His videos range from exploring Christmas markets to camping in picturesque locations, all to give his viewers a glimpse of his journeys and highlight what each destination has to offer. In this video, Oliver embarks on a solo wild camping trip, spending the night deep in a secluded forest somewhere in the UK. His plan is to embrace the outdoors, take in the tranquility of nature and fully experience solo camping. It's February 22nd, 2025. Full of excitement and eager for the experience ahead, Oliver arrives at his chosen campsite. The sun filters through the trees, casting a golden glow over the quiet forest, adding to his already good mood. But as he begins searching for the perfect spot to set up camp, he has no idea that this trip will take an unsettling turn, one that will make this adventure unlike any other he has ever filmed.
We're just trying to find a comfortable spot now. There's so many trees around, but it's just trying to find the right spot, which is going to be completely flat and well sheltered. It's a bit alarming when you see fallen branches like this fallen from the trees. Could easily fall on you in the night. So I think I've found a really good spot here. This area here is quite good. You've got a couple of trees around here, and this space right here is really good. It's quite flat as well. Might need to move some twigs out of the way for underneath the tent, but the path is just over there, so people are quite far away, which is really good, so it should be quite quiet.
Satisfied with the spot, Oliver begins setting up his base for the night. It's his first solo wild camping adventure, and though the thought of being alone in the dark forest stirs some tension, he focuses on the task at hand. The uncertainty of what to expect doesn't overshadow the excitement he feels. Instead, the thrill of the adventure keeps his spirits high. And as he prepares his camp, the anxiety fades, replaced by a sense of anticipation for the peaceful night ahead.
I'm hoping with it being metal, they'll eventually just flex and bend and probably stay in the same position for a while, and hopefully don't flex back too much. That top one was a lot easier compared to the bottom one setting up. So this is a tent fully set up. We've got the tarp over the top, so I'm hoping it does keep the rain off in the night, but the tent will do it anyway if it wasn't there in the first place. But I'm thinking it looks really good. The sun is setting now, so it should be getting quite quiet, and hopefully no one passes through, especially at the night time as well. Don't want anyone passing through on night time. That'd be creepy.
Happy with how his camp turned out, hunger begins to set in, and Oliver decides it's time to make some dinner before it gets too dark. Yet, despite his best efforts to enjoy the moment, he can't fully shake the uncomfortable, vulnerable feeling of being completely alone in the woods, especially once night falls. He tells himself it's just his mind playing tricks, but the unease lingers. Still, he pushes forward, determined to focus on the positive and not let his anxiety take over. Little did he know, his fears weren't as unwarranted as he hoped.
It's quite a challenge, and it's quite a weird thing to do, especially being on your own. It's so strange in the wild. And then there's people as well walking around, because it's like a country park. So yeah, it's a very, very strange atmosphere at times, especially when you go to the toilet in the night and you've got your lantern and you're just walking around and all you can see is the silhouettes of the trees. Now that is just creepy. So it's getting a little bit dark now. I've got my cooking equipment here. I've got my pan as well, and some eggs and some bacon. I've got my olive oil and a lighter as well to start this off. Did you hear that? That was an owl. Hopefully we're going to hear some owls tonight. That was cool. All gone. That was actually really good. I'm quite full now, so I didn't need to bring any bread or anything. That was really good.
With a full stomach, Oliver feels satisfied, but the forest begins to take on a more ominous tone as the night settles in. The darkness creeps in, and the once calming atmosphere now feels eerie, making him acutely aware of how alone he is in the middle of the woods. As the chill of the night deepens and his discomfort grows, he finally decides to retreat into his tent, hoping that the small enclosed space will offer him a sense of safety. He takes a deep breath, trying to shake off his dismay and hoping for a peaceful night under the stars.
This is what it's like when it's pitch black. This is what it's like when you put the lantern on, and it's very creepy. Like when you need to go to the toilet in the night, it's so spooky. Like you just see a random tree just dotted there, and it's so like, whoa! It's like a person stood there, but yeah, it's quite a creepy feeling when it's dark like this. So I'm gonna get some sleep now and test it out, see how it goes, see if I get some sleep. Last time when I was in the hammock tent, I only had about 2 hours sleep. That wasn't the best night ever, really. But we'll see how this one goes. It's not a hammock tent, it's a lay flat, you know, on the ground tent. So we'll see how it goes, and I will see you guys in the morning. Good night.
Oliver had left a camera rolling outside to capture any wildlife passing through his camp. But as soon as he finally fell fast asleep, something totally different was captured on the camera. Something he definitely didn't want to happen that night.
Turn around, there's somebody sleeping in the tent behind me. There. No, the tent, right there, bro. Hello? I told you it's company. Oh, come here, boys, together. Yeah, but I don't want the guy to feel threatened at all, do you know what I mean? Yeah, leave him to it, mate, let's go. He's got a body cut, look, he's got a trail cam there, look. What do you mean, a trail cam? Look on the tree, that this looks like animals and shit. You're right. Oh, sorry, mate. We just stumbled across you, mate, my bad. No, it's alright, no worries. You're doing okay though?
Tell you what, if you go down that way, there's like a bit of a ditch.
Is that?
Yeah.
Like a bit of a crater?
Just keep going, there's like a building or something. Oh, okay. Have a look at it.
Oh, thank you very
Like a
much.
circular brick sort of thing. No, no worries. Alright.
Oliver was abruptly woken up by a group of guys wandering through the forest. At first, he was terrified, seeing lights shining on his tent and hearing multiple voices. It took a few tense seconds, but as he slowly became more awake and listened closely, he could make out their words and realize that, fortunately, these people didn't seem to have bad intentions. After taking a deep breath, Oliver gathered the courage to peek his head out of the tent to let them know he was inside and awake. Although the exact thing he had feared happened, these guys didn't pose any harm, and luckily, there was no real threat. But for a moment, this encounter gave Oliver the shock of his life, making him more aware than ever of how vulnerable one can be when camping alone in the woods. Who knows what might have happened if it had been someone with bad intentions walking past his tent? Luckily, Oliver didn't have to find out tonight, and hopefully, he never will. And with that, let's delve straight into the next disturbing encounter that has been captured on camera. This haunting footage comes from the YouTube channel Exploration Unknown, owned by John, a man with a passion for documenting his daring adventures, from exploring eerie abandoned places to spending the night in them. For the past 8 years, John has been sharing every adventure with his viewers, showcasing the beauty of decay. But sometimes, his explorations take an unsettling turn, making him question whether his passion is worth the risk. In this video, John sets up camp at an old abandoned farmstead hidden deep in the woods. Locals claim the place is haunted, though that's not the reason he's here. Drawn by its state of decay, John is eager to explore what remains of the farm and uncover what has been left behind. But what he doesn't know is that this night will take a disturbing turn, one that has nothing to do with the forgotten relics of the past. It's November 9th, 2017. As John makes his way through the woods, the sun dips below the horizon, casting eerie shadows across the landscape. Once everything is set up for the night, he starts recording, ready to document the decaying farmstead, completely unaware of what awaits him in the darkness.
As you can see, I wasn't kidding about being in the woods. I'm coming up on some structures here. You have to kind of walk off the woods a little bit to get this place. Look at this. Out here in the middle of nothing. It's a big barrel. That's crazy. I'm not gonna lie, that really freaked me out when I first saw it. Which is weird because it's like somebody's jacket just hanging there. Look at all this stuff here. Now that is a relic of the past. It's like an old 80s printer. So cool. Look at all these little spindly things here. Looks like something that could be used on a turn lathe. So this way. This whole building here is just, looks like over here is starting to collapse in the back a little bit.
As John wanders through the farmstead, his fascination grows with every step. The decaying structures, remnants of a forgotten past, captivate him. Although he feels relatively at ease, an unshakable sense of unease lingers in the air. Something feels off, though he can't quite put his finger on it. Determined not to let it distract him, John brushes the feeling aside and continues his exploration, eager to see what else this eerie place has to reveal.
Barn, garage. Oh, I'm falling through something. Oh, look. Oh, wow. Look at that metal. Oh, wow. That actually still got... Oh, wow. These are unopened. Wonder how old this is. It's unopened motor oil. That's really cool. There's a bunch of cans up here. Oh wow, how long has it been since you've seen those McDonald's bags? Small saws. This is probably not the safest structure to be inside of right now. It is all collapsed everywhere around me except there's one little spot I'm in. Crazy. Yeah, this is cool. Look at all that grease. I'm gonna drop my camera in that. Some old belts here. Still a pretty solid looking old barn except for that corner. I just love being out in the woods at night. Something really freaking cool about it.
John is totally enjoying his time as he continues wandering through the farmstead, taking in the eerie yet fascinating atmosphere. Having explored most of the property, he feels satisfied with his findings and decides to take a little break by his camp. But what he totally didn't notice at the moment was that he had captured something really disturbing on his footage. John had set out for just another night of exploration, expecting nothing more than the usual thrill of uncovering forgotten places. But little did he know, something was watching him from the shadows. At first glance, it's easy to miss, but when watching the footage closely, frame by frame, a faint figure dressed in white can be seen standing eerily still beside one of the trees. Unaware of what his camera had picked up, John continued his exploration without a second thought, enjoying his night just like any other adventure. It wasn't until he uploaded the video to his channel that he spotted the mysterious figure lurking in the distance. A chill ran down his spine as he realized he hadn't been alone after all. The unsettling discovery left him with a strange mix of relief and unease. Relief that he hadn't noticed it at the moment, and unease at the thought of what could have happened if he had. What started as a routine exploration turned into one of the strangest and most unsettling encounters he had ever captured on camera. A good reminder how unpredictable your evening can be while camping in the wilderness. And with that in mind, let's head into the next disturbing camping encounter. Meet Tom, an outdoor enthusiast who shares his adventures on his YouTube channel, Tom's Trails. From outdoor gear reviews to wild camping trips, Tom's channel is a haven for nature lovers who seek inspiration for their own adventures. In this particular video, Tom and his friend Matt embark on a wild camping trip deep in the heart of a forest, with their goal to enjoy the tranquility of nature, bond as friends, and experience bivvy camping for the first time. It's the 1st of March, 2025. Both Tom and Matt are prepared for the adventure ahead and full of excitement as they begin their hike into the woods. They want to get as far away from civilization as possible, hoping to experience the raw beauty of nature, undisturbed by the noise of the outside world. The forest feels peaceful, and everything seems to be in perfect harmony as they trek deeper into the wilderness.
Here we go. Let's go a little bit further that way. Yeah. Right, there we go. That's us. Oh no, pillow as well. All set and ready to go. He has fire pot, also pasta bolognese. Beautiful. Francesca said this looked a bit like a coffin when I set it up in the living room.
After deciding this is a good spot to spend the rest of the night, Tom and Matt set up their camp as the sun is going down fast, casting long shadows across the forest floor. The woods will soon be swallowed by the darkness of the night, so with everything set up, Tom and Matt sit down to enjoy their dinner. Everything feels right, and they're completely unaware of what the night will soon bring for them.
What are you cooking? Steak?
I'm cooking some steak.
Oh no.
That's good. Yeah, I'm not going to burn a hole through this pan like I did to Sam's pan.
Oh god, yeah.
And there we have it. Steak cooking. Steak's very good.
With dinner eaten and everything comfortable, Tom and Matt are enjoying their time in the peaceful forest. The sound of the crackling fire and the rustling leaves make for a perfect, serene atmosphere. But as the night deepens, the sky gradually turns darker and the sun slowly disappears beneath the horizon. The two friends keep the fire going, enjoying the stillness of the night, but the hours tick on. Eventually, it's time to get some rest. They want to make the most of their adventure and wake up early in the morning to fully embrace the experience. Both are looking forward to trying out their new bivvy gear and are feeling confident that the night will pass like any other camping trip. But just as they fall into a deep sleep, something wakes them up in the middle of the night. The calm, peaceful atmosphere shatters with a noise. It's faint at first, but slowly grows louder. Tom and Matt lie in silence, listening intently. Neither of them can figure out what it is, but they both feel the unsettling tension creep into the air. The banging sound was so loud that both Tom and Matt woke up from it, their hearts racing as the noise continued, echoing through the forest. It went on for what felt like an eternity, and getting any sleep after that was almost impossible. The two lay there, wide awake in their sleeping bags, feeling vulnerable and creeped out. They hoped whatever it was wouldn't come closer, but the sound was so relentless that it felt like it might. By the time morning finally came, both were exhausted. They had spent the rest of the night wondering what that noise could have been, their minds racing with every possibility. But despite the fear, there was also a sense of relief that they didn't have to face whatever was out there in the darkness. That banging had sounded intimidating and unsafe. After a quick breakfast, they packed their things and left the forest behind, their adventure somewhat soured by the unsettling experience. While they were relieved to leave, a bit of disappointment lingered at how the night had gone. The peaceful experience they had hoped for turned into something far more unsettling. When Tom later posted the video on his channel, he asked his viewers if they had any explanations for the strange noise. Some believed it could have been an animal, while others speculated something far more disturbing. But to this day, the mystery remains unsolved, leaving Tom and Matt with an experience they can't shake and an unanswered question that will likely stay with them for a long time. Luckily, this story ended well, but prepare yourself for the next one, as it's going to take a completely different turn. This next clip comes from the TikTok account Ace Dawns, where Steven shares adventurous videos filled with stunning scenes and daring activities. But in this particular video, Steven shared an experience that left him shaking and he couldn't resist sharing with his viewers. Steven is on a camping trip with a good friend, and they're having a great time, enjoying the peace of nature. After finishing their dinner, they start to feel a bit bored and decide to try out the infamous Randonautica app. This app generates random locations for users to visit, with the goal of encouraging exploration and mindfulness. But there have been numerous stories online of Randonautica users being led to unsettling and even dangerous places. It's June 24th, 2020. Steven and his friend follow the app's instructions as it leads them to an unusual location. At first, they think it's just another spot in nature, but as they get closer, they notice something strange. The town near where the app is directing them doesn't seem like any ordinary town.
Okay, so this randonauting app just brought us to this creepy town, and honestly when we saw this, we should have turned around and left. We continued up the mountain though, and there's always abandoned cars and nobody around. At this point, we're definitely trespassing. We couldn't even really turn around at this point because the road was so narrow and it was such a steep drop off on the other side. We were kind of intrigued at how creepy this was, even though it was getting dark really quick, and next thing we know, the sun had gone down and the moon came out.
As they drive through, they realize the town is abandoned. The streets are silent, the houses are dark, weathered, and some even have strange mannequins positioned in their windows. There's an odd, eerie stillness in the air. Birds aren't chirping, no cars are passing by, and even the wind seems still. The unease starts to creep in, but they continue to follow the GPS, thinking they're just being paranoid. The app directs them further through the town, and they find themselves arriving at a spot in the middle of nowhere, a decrepit, overgrown area. They get out of the car to investigate, filming the eerie surroundings as they go.
But we had the pin pulled up, we were so close to it, and this happened. I don't know how to explain this. We're the only ones around, and a random rock falls. I think that was a sign that we should leave. But we kept going. Everything about this place was just giving me really bad vibes, and when I looked into here and saw this, as soon as I realized it's some sort of face, we took off running. I don't know what it is with this town, why there's all these abandoned cars and no people and mannequins in the window.
Eventually, as they wander deeper into the area, they come across something that stops them in their tracks. Under a pile of old litter and debris, partially hidden from view, is something that makes their blood run cold. A weird, face-shaped object. It's not a mask, not a rock, but something that's difficult to describe. It looks like a face, but it's misshaped, distorted in a way that doesn't feel natural. This was enough for the boys. Shocked and terrified, they ran as fast as they could back to their car, not daring to look back. Their hearts raced with every step. the image of the grotesque face lingering in their minds. What had they just discovered, hidden beneath the old wooden garbage? Was it a bizarre coincidence, or was there something more sinister at play? As they reached the car, the sense of relief was overwhelming, but the questions kept flooding in. They were shaking, both physically and mentally, but glad to have escaped whatever dark presence seemed to be lingering in that eerie place. The whole experience felt unreal, like something out of a nightmare, but it was real. Once safely in the car, they started the engine and drove off, trying to shake the terrifying encounter from their minds. But one thing was certain: they would never, ever use the Randonautica app again. The fear and uncertainty of what they had just experienced were enough to make them delete it immediately. The truth remains a mystery, and Steven's chilling footage only adds to the unsettling lore surrounding the app. Now prepare yourself as we head straight into the last disturbing camping encounter. This next clip comes from the YouTube channel Scotland's Mountains, where Billy shares his adventures in the Scottish Highlands. From breathtaking summit wild camps to mountain biking, climbing, and kayaking along the lochs, Billy captures everything he experiences while doing what he loves most: exploring the wild landscapes of Scotland. In this video, Billy and his good friend Ray embark on a trip to one of the most infamous locations in the Western Highlands, Louisbelt. This remote and now ruined bothy has long been the subject of paranormal stories. Over the years, many have claimed to hear unexplained footsteps and witness objects being thrown when the lodge was still in use. Some even believe a poltergeist haunts the place. But despite the eerie tales, Billy and Ray are too intrigued to resist. Ever since they heard about Louisbelt, they knew they had to see it for themselves. And to truly experience it, they've made the bold decision to spend the night there. However, with the ruin lying miles away from the nearest road, escaping quickly won't be an option. It's October 27th, 2023. Billy and Ray meet at the starting point of their journey, ready to make their way into the mountains. Since the route is long and challenging, they begin by biking through the rugged landscape, covering as much ground as possible before the terrain forces them to continue on foot. But even as the trail becomes rougher, their excitement remains high. They press on, eager to reach their destination.
Right, we're coming up directly from Kinloch Leaving. Don't do it this way. It's murder, isn't it? Absolute murder. It's all it's steep, but you can see it's all pitted and oh, it's horrible. Absolutely horrible. Right, you'll see behind me we have finally reached the 4x4 track. That's one of the toughest things I've done in a long time. How did you find that, Ray?
That was horrific, and yeah, that was a bad idea actually.
I think we're both goosed. We might just set the tents up here. I think the ghosts will come this far across from Louisbelt.
It seemed like a good idea at the time, as always. But
On the map it's more direct, but anyway, we're right in the mountains now, so it's over the back of that one we're heading right along. We'll hit a couple of lochs soon, so I'll probably bring you back when we reach the ruin and we're putting the tents up. It'll be 360 footage and some voiceover work in the interim, so yeah, we'll see you in a wee while.
After a long bike ride, they finally reach a more manageable path, bringing them closer and closer to their destination. The sight of their goal in the distance reignites their energy, pushing aside the exhaustion from their long journey. And then, finally, they arrive at Louisbelt. As they take their first real look at the ruins of the infamous haunted lodge, a strange mix of excitement and unease washes over them. The structure, standing alone in the vast and desolate landscape, carries an eerie presence, one that lingers in the cold mountain air. Still, determined to see this adventure through, Billy and Ray begin setting up their camp. And though they tried shaking off the unsettling feeling creeping in, the thought of spending the night in a place with such a chilling reputation lingers in the back of their minds.
Oh, I tell you what, it's no warm, it's cold. As I said earlier, there's snow on the tops, so, and I've got my summer gear with me. It's a good cold night tonight. I've also brought a change of clothes. Got some proper trousers to put on, so I'm going to get changed into them as well. It's now out of this out of my cycling stuff. But it's a beautiful spot nonetheless. I mean, we're covered the mountains. We're in the stags are roaring. The high tops are. We've got a cap of snow in them. It's starting to clear now. We might get some star shots later on, actually.
With both Billy's and Ray's tent set up, it's time to make some food while enjoying the beautiful scenery as the sun is dipping more and more below the horizon. The golden light of the setting sun casts long shadows across the ruins, and for a moment, the peacefulness of the remote wilderness makes them forget the eerie reputation of Louis Belt. But that's also when the first strange thing seems to occur.
Right, just went over to set the wee camera up. I don't know if you can see it. Switched it on and the battery's gone. I mean, it was had the battery flat sign straight away, and that was charged literally before I left the house. It's never gone that flat. It might just be the cold weather, but I don't know. That sort of thing happened in Most Haunted, didn't it? But that's a bit weird. Or is it just a coincidence? Who knows? Right, I've got a power bank with me. I'm going to recharge it and see if we can get some juice out of it. Yeah, I don't know if you can make out the battery there. It should be full, but it's not. It's empty, so I'll go and charge it, but that's a bit odd. I don't know if you can see me or not, but there's a moon. The moons are rising over the skyline, just to the side of the old ruin, and the light started to go. It's quite dark now. But, so far, it's just a lovely place actually, surrounded by some amazing mountains. I can see Annick Beg and Annick Moor and Skura Eldemore. It's lovely.
Besides the battery of one of the cameras suddenly being out of power without any real explanation, both Billy and Ray feel quite comfortable and are still enjoying their time in the middle of nature. And after having some dinner, they decide to make a fire and have some quality time together. But as the flames flicker and the night settles in, the atmosphere begins to shift. The once welcoming wilderness now feels different, heavier, almost watchful.
Weird things happen to us when we're... Let's hope there's nothing weird tonight. There's nothing we can do. We are literally, if anything weird happens tonight, we are literally in the middle of nowhere, aren't we?
We're in the boondocks.
Was it 7 or 8 miles away from the closest? I don't know. But there's no way we can just get up and go, put it that way.
No.
We'll just have to bide our time. It's a really starry night actually, isn't it?
It's nice.
It's absolutely glorious. It's a bit windy, but...
this is what I really like about, the winter, or going into winter and the winter camping, when you get a clear night and you can see the Milky Way and the stars. Yeah, especially if there's snow on the ground. I mean, we've done quite a few winter camps, and I think it's glorious. Maybe the best time of the year to be out camping.
The long nights.
Yeah. Not everybody's cup of tea, freezing. But if you have the right gear and that experience, then I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, no, there's something special about it.
Yeah.
And at this time of year, it's not actually that cold at the moment. I mean, it has been cold in the wind, but you know what I mean. It's not below freezing.
Yourself.
I think it's maybe because I've got
about 20 layers on.
I've got about 15 layers on.
After some time, having a drink, chatting, and sharing ghost stories along with some strange experiences they've had themselves, the mood is light, and they're really enjoying the night. But just before settling into their tents, Billy and Ray decide to take one last look inside the ruin, this time under the cover of darkness. With only their flashlights cutting through the pitch-black night, they step inside.
You think there might have been dormer?
There used to be 2 dormer windows here. There's that one there and then one there. So if they left the front of the building, then that would have been one of the windows.
That's the front. Yeah.
It's weird that you've still got that bit roof just...
no, that's a bit dangerous. So after the wee tour we looked to the skies, and there was actually a slight aurora showing as well as a meteor shower which we watched before hitting the hay.
Inside the ruin, they couldn't shake off the uncomfortable feeling they felt, thinking about all the rumors and the long history this place held. But it was time to go to bed now, and they had no other choice than to try to shake off that feeling and make the best of it, even though the atmosphere felt eerie. Billy and Ray eventually drifted off to sleep, but Billy's rest was anything but peaceful.
Well, good morning. I think I've made it through the night unscathed. It is 7:05. I didn't feel like I slept very well. In fact, when I looked at my watch, I was delighted when it was said, I think it was 6:50 I woke up. I felt like it was still the middle of the night and I was up every 2 minutes, but I think that was just because of where I am and just expecting something to happen. Yeah, it's funny when you're in a place like this, every noise you hear, you have to think about it rationally. And what was preying on my mind is I think I'm on the path. If you've listened to the podcast, there's a bit where they hear a dragging noise on a gravel path. Now, I know it's grass here now, but I think this is the path between the house and the river where they heard this strange gravel sound, dragging sound in the second visit. If you've listened to it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Morning, Ray.
Morning.
How was your night's sleep?
It was good. It was actually very good.
So nothing went
bang in the night.
Nothing went bang in the night?
Slept right through.
Well, I'll tell you what, I was just saying to the guys, I thought I heard the front door, like a door slamming shut, but I'm sure I was just dreaming.
Well, saying that, I did hear something. I don't know if I was kind of dreaming. I heard wood getting cut.
Really?
You know, like what I saw. It was like shh, 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 shh. And then it stopped for a little while, and then I heard it again, just, you know, like somebody was finishing off cutting wood, like the shh. And that was it.
Yeah.
But I don't
know. It wasn't me snoring.
It probably was.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, nothing.
I don't know. I think I sleep with earplugs in, but I could still hear. My senses were very much heightened last night. I think it was just because of the story. I think that's the gravel path. There's bits where I was putting the pegs in. I don't know if you've listened to the podcast, but there's a bit where they had a dragging across the gravel path. I was just expecting to hear that. But anyway, we've survived the night.
After all, Billy and Ray had made it through the night safely. They both heard strange noises throughout the night, but brushed them off, hoping it was just all in their heads, even though it felt a bit disturbing. But with the sun finally rising again, the beautiful scenery in the skies above the mountains brought back the idyllic atmosphere. Satisfied, and with a sense of victory, the two friends ate something, packed their belongings, and made their way out of this infamous place, back to civilization. This adventure was one they would not soon forget, and even though they were both quite skeptical about the mysteries between the living and the dead, they couldn't shake the feeling that there was something truly off about this place. That's all for today, folks. If you want to see more of this creepy content, click on the video on screen.